up, everybody? Welcome back. So we are here with Series 2 for our Pride Month series. And we are very, very, very happy to have two special guests with us today. We'll take it away. We have Dion. Dion, want to introduce yourself to the people?
Hello, my name is Dion White. I am friends with both of those gentlemen, Mario and Hayward. Glad to be on. Yes, I'm one of the gays.
I love it. And we have this gentleman right below me, Mr. Eric Davis.
Hi, I'm Eric Davis. I'm at Hayward on Christian Mingle and Tuesday. And I brushed my teeth for this podcast. I don't know why. I was like, I want to have fresh breath in case you are.
It's important that people can see your teeth too, so that's definitely important. No? Maybe not. Okay. I'll leave it there. So how has Pride Month been so far for everybody?
Pretty chill. Well, with my company, they love it. Anytime you work for a bank, they love the gays. So I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah. I haven't done so much thus far as celebrating Pride Month. I guess I still got a little bit of time to get out there and celebrate, but I haven't done as much as thus far.
Okay. Eric, what about yourself?
It hasn't been a great experience. Each year, I realize how much my parents and those who I love really don't advocate and support the Black queer community. I think that it's one thing to be gay, but to be proud of it pushes a whole nother level of discomfort for people. And so every year around this time, I make some cuts in people who I thought would be, what is this, trees, whatever the saying is. So this one is always shocking. Always.
I'm very sorry. I know people can relate to that. I know I can relate to that too. So thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. Let's jump into this clip really quickly.
Yeah. Knew I was gonna set y'all up, but y'all flexible, right?
Yeah.
Can you have a gay best friend?
Who, a man?
Yes, I can.
I'm just asking.
Yeah.
Like, so me, it wouldn't bother me. Like, it's like,
And what if this is your boy for years?
Uh-huh.
And he finally came out the closet. Fair enough. He's out that closet, right? But if he's truly your best friend, he can come to you about what he's going through. To be honest, I'm just gonna be honest. It would change my relationship.
But what if y'all been friends since elementary school and he come out at 16 and y'all about to graduate?
Every time I look at him, I'm like, damn, where did this nigga go get?
You're being selfish because you're thinking about you.
Yeah, but he hasn't changed.
I am because the dynamic of the relationship to go on. Like me and him will go to Vegas.
Right.
We'll go to Vegas. If I set up a trip, me and him, I'm cool with going to Vegas.
Before you find out who's gay.
No, I'm just saying. But if he and we could.
y'all sleep in the same room.
Now imagine him being gay now. Would you go to Vegas in the same room?
No.
Then you believe what I believe. The same question. What changed?
This whole
I don't know what changed.
What changed is now our relationship has went in a direction that is irreversible. So it can.
Come on, get it.
Before we start, the irony of World Walls active live thing popping up is perfect. I don't know if y'all saw that, but
I saw it, but he was doing a live for something else, not with
Hey, I mean, which is true, but but everybody's going to notice that because everybody has their opinions.
You want to know.
Right, exactly. And I mean, I'm pretty sure, people know, so I don't think it's a secret. I don't think he's treating it as a secret. I think he's just, holding it close to his chest.
Okay. I agree with Hayward. I just feel like we put so much emphasis on being gay, and he's just trying to live his life. And I feel like the gay's like, come out. I'm like, everybody don't want to. That's not going to be everybody's goal. That's not going to be everybody's want to do. Just be who you are and just go on.
Yeah.
we just met, but hey.
Eric, I can already tell.
my push is name how many straight people you don't know are straight. There's never a time when a straight person keeps it a secret. They don't hold it ear to their heart. They don't have a significant other. It's And so while I understand that perspective, I think that oftentimes we make excuses for people's for the world's homophobia. And I'm not pushing him out the closet. I really don't care that much about him. However, I do think that we make valid excuses for queer people who are afraid. Because also, I've always been gay. I've been a queen forever, right? And I've seen people who had the choice to like be open, and people who didn't have the choice. Yeah. And people who didn't have the choice are judged by people who had the choice. I've always been feminine. I've always been clockable, right? And so these things are a little bit more like, all right. So if you are, so I hear you, but
not everybody's gonna be clockable.
Yeah,
true,
correct.
Yeah. But to that point, though, even if you are clockable, that still doesn't mean that you are more comfortable in being openly gay. You know what I mean? So
agreed.
Yeah.
So we don't know any straight people who don't say they straight.
No, because they're not going.
Okay, as long as we're question.
Yeah. Well, but we know why. We know it's societally acceptable, so they don't have to not say that they're straight, or
That's why there's no straight heterosexual Pride Day or
exactly. But I feel like I don't know if people are mad about it, angry about that, or if they're just like they just don't like the fact that Pride Month is celebrated. It's probably a combination of both. But
I was told that I talk a lot. Sorry, Dion. Also, are you an older millennial or are you a younger millennial, or are you Hayward's age?
Dion is.
I think I'm 2 years under. Oh no, Hayward.
No.
I'm 37.
Me too. Oh, great. Okay. Let's see each other.
We're not gonna start there. We're not gonna start there. Okay. We have our true elder in the corner there. So, but it's all good. I love him.
He looks phenomenal.
He does. He He absolutely does. I love it.
You so shady.
Not helping at all. Oh my God. But so just wanted to get into some general discussion with everybody. So I wanted to pose a question. Wanted to know, just with it being Pride Month and everything, what does a supportive ally look and mean to you?
Okay. When is your birthday?
April.
You go first. You older.
Repeat the question again, Davis.
So the question is, what does a supportive ally look like or mean to you?
Someone who just shows up for you regardless. Someone who's going to be honest with you, and somebody's going to tell you like, hey, I'm for you no matter what. Now, there are, I don't want to say sides to it, but there are times when we may be wrong as a gay man. Well, I want to say gay man because sometimes we do feel like we have to force people out. There are times I've been in that situation where I feel like, well, child, you gay. We can tell you gay. Just do what you gonna do. But an ally is just somebody who's just gonna be there, support you, and just kind of stand by your side.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. Just to jump back on that, I think it is important because I think people have preconceived notions of what that means to support like a gay friend or to be, someone. So I think people try to kind of be what they think you need, and it's not really that, or try to operate in a space that and feel like they're being an ally, but they're not really being an ally. Because I tell people this all the time. It's like at work, especially when you're a new person at work, and people find out that you're doing, and it's like they want to be all like, "Hey, sis," and do all of this extra stuff, and I hate that. Like, and it's
HR, HR,
absolutely. So yeah, those are my thoughts on it.
I think that an ally is somebody that's going to be naturally who they are, regardless of what. And so it's not so much they got to put any effort into it. They're going to show their support and be just naturally who they are. and then them being an ally would just come naturally. I think to your point, Hayward, sometimes when we meet people that overdo it and they think they're doing us a service or stuff like that, it really is kind of like, hey, you're doing too much. So as long as you just being natural and being your natural self, authentic self, everything flows.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I'll be the bad guy. And so I think that as someone who grew up in the church and is an older gay, I think that we have a very toxic view of what allyship is, because we grew up at a time where we couldn't have pride, right? I don't think we could get legally married till we was all grown anyway. And so I think allyship is someone who is growing with you and who is choosing to do uncomfortable things that go beyond their natural selves.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know if you all grew up openly queer. I did not. So like finally being open required another level of discomfort for me to grow into. And so my family, now knowing that I'm openly queer, they have to also grow. But if they're still doing the same shit they did when I was 23, that's not being an ally. What it looks like. So I am a proud member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. And my frat brothers they've been the ultimate example of what it looks like. Do they make mistakes? Absolutely. But they go to my parties. They are interacting with people. They're asking me about my type. They're asking questions, but also doing research to also go beyond their lens to support beyond me. And I think that's what true allyship is. It's not just being your natural self. It's always growing, always finding out more ways. And I think because of our experience, we assume that when people at work are doing too much, it's too much. However, straight men just had a whole podcast about doing too much. And I'm sorry, I don't even like talking about straight men, to be honest. So like the idea of like doing too much is just, I think, trauma of us having to unpack that. Like people really want to support because they know you go outside and you could be called a faggot and you still got to go about your day. That was my spiel.
Yeah. So,
no.
Go ahead, Dion.
So Eric, you do have straight friends, going back to that video. So you have straight friends.
Yeah, he does.
They would never. Number one. But also like I choose my friends based off how they think, right? And so like I would have friends who think like that. And if I did have those friends, then I'm not friends with them anymore. I don't care how we grew up. Like if you're not growing, if your mindset is that I can't share, I'm sharing a bed with you, bro. Like, cause I don't want you.
Right.
Yeah. I think that feeds into that misconception that a lot of men have is like just because somebody's gay, they automatically assume you're gay and you want me, and that's not the case.
Yeah. Not
unless you can. Sometimes it could be the case though. I'm like,
that's sometimes. That's sometimes.
Keep it a bug. I'll be like, listen, bro. Yeah, I'm.
Sometimes.
That's real. Though. I think we are sexual beings, so like, I think it's important to have that conversation. Like I've told so many straight men, you would be my type if you were gay, but since you're not, but also there's a line. Don't touch me. Don't do those things. Also, not okay. So I think it's all about, as we elevate and learn ourselves more, communicating like, hey, you can't do that to me.
Yeah.
It means something different.
How do they respond when you say that? Like if you were gay, you'd be my type. What's the response?
That's what I wanted to know.
I mean, well, number one, they laugh. I mean, also I don't hang around stupid people. So I don't have time for that. And so like what I do is they usually laugh it off. And they'll say why, and I'm like, well, because you toxic. And so we just have lots of conversations about like what that looks like. But I aim to like see them, and I force them to see me. Not to make a long story, there was a time a straight person would always try to send me girls. They would be like, yo, look at this bad girl. Ooh. I said, well, look at this man. He's sexy, right? You ODing, Eric. You ODing. How? You assume that your way is normal, and it's not. And you see my way is offensive. So like there's like different life checks I give them to help them along the way. Like, don't send me a picture of a girl. I'm not like grossed out, but like if you can see a picture of a man's penis or butt, then don't send me a girl's titties.
Yeah, it's very true. There is a big double standard when it comes to that, and I think people are just extremely uncomfortable with it. It's like, all right, I've accepted you, so that's enough. But Anything beyond that is way too much. And that goes back to what you were saying about them being intentional about being uncomfortable in those spaces, because it's extremely important. I wanted to circle back to what you said earlier about people being intentional and doing research on, I guess the queer lifestyle in general. Do you take issue, or I guess I would ask everyone, do you guys take issue when people want to ask you questions just about it in general, or would you prefer them to just kind of figure it out on their own?
I don't mind. I want them to ask questions, but here's the thing: people really don't want to know.
Yeah,
they don't want to know, especially like he said, like Eric said. I grew up in the church. That was something, especially Church of God in Christ. We put that right on under the rug. We didn't want to hear anything. But baby, let me tell you, them church bathrooms, wore out. That's just how it was.
The bathroom?
Bathrooms. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about, things that I've seen. Yeah, when you're young, you can't get to certain places. You can't.
Sleepovers, duh.
My parents didn't play that a lot, so I was fast, but I couldn't do too much.
Bathroom at church.
You told me a few stories, yeah. I don't know. So I know that those experiences are polar opposites, though. So, like for Dion, for you and Eric, like I know both y'all grew up in the church, so I know that is different. So I'm sure y'all had a totally different take on it, like growing up. And as for me too, because my situation is totally different. Like I would probably, I don't know what I didn't like recognize that I was gay until later. So that wasn't like a thing for me growing up. So yeah.
I don't mind answering questions, but don't ask too much. Like
stupid questions.
Like also not hanging out with stupid people.
No,
well, when you say that, when you say not hanging out with stupid people, how do you determine when they're stupid? I mean,
exactly.
Initially, you don't know that.
Like they're not cultured, or they're not
it's called discernment.
Teach me.
No, honestly, like I think it's like
Mario.
I ain't. He being one. I hate. We talking about pride. You are shady. I just think that honestly, like, and there are people. Like I was at a man's house. I'm from Chicago. I live in New York now. I was at a dude's house in the hood, and he was like, "Yeah, these faggots," and I was like, "Bro, I'm gay, just so you know. So can you not use that word?" And I think oftentimes, unfortunately, straight people are like kind of like shocked when someone is proud of who they are. And he was like, "My bad, bro." But my stupid people thing is like, once I find out that you stupid, I just walk away. I disengage. So like, I'll ask you like something simple, and based off your response, I can't talk to you anymore. And so that's how I decipher who I can like, because like there are some stupid questions. Like if you let me, you listen, brother. If that's where your mind went, you have to unpack that. That's not up to me. But have a good day.
But I think that's the thing. I think people automatically, in general, society categorizes being gay as being like a predator or like sexually charged or whatever, and treating that like kind of separating the two, because like you said, we as humans are just sexual beings in general. So act like when it's a gay person, they're doing too much, or it's like it's all about this. So their minds automatically go to sexual things, I feel like, in a lot of situations. So, and not to excuse it, but I think that's where a lot of that comes from.
I would disagree. Okay. I think that traditionally, in our experience, that was the narrative. I'm also a teacher, Dion Hay. And so what I've learned now is that like the expectation of gay is like they're just have to be super confident. There are all the stereotypes that we try to avoid are the new trend. Stereotypes are popular. The gay kids are mean. They are bullies.
Are we talking about the new ones? Or are we talking about the older ones?
We're talking about 20. Like, what's the new generation called?
The new ones,
Gen Z. Gen Z, right?
Like Gen Z.
So they're grown, and so like I think like we come from a space where like you couldn't say you were gay at work. And so we thought these new ones are like white women love gays, right? So like if you black and you say you gay, you could probably get a raise, right? And so I think it depends on your experience. And so I've learned that like while we have that trauma, The new gays are like, yo, I'm gay, and if you don't accept it, you getting fired. And it's like, whoa, that's a
scares me.
It's extreme.
Yeah, that scares me.
No, I agree. Same. Mario, what's your take on that?
We just said so much, I forgot what we were talking about.
Yeah,
you gotta pay attention a little bit.
I was so engulfed in what he had to say. He raised some good points, so I don't know exactly what was our original question. Seriously.
So the original question was no, but the original question was surrounding like the allyship, but I circled back and asked about people asking questions about certain things about being gay. Like, is that acceptable to you? Like if someone came to you, they're trying to be an ally. Hey, Mario, I just, I want to support you. Like I'm an ally. Like, can you help me understand? Like, for that method or?
For me, it's kind of, I guess, I don't live my life outwardly as a gay man, but I don't shy away from it either. So if you were to come to me and ask me about it, then we can have a conversation. But I don't want to say I'm trying to hide it. I just don't lead with that, if that makes sense. So I don't have an issue. I don't have an issue with the questions and stuff like that. I just at all times I want you to be respectful though. And so the times that I've experienced, some questions, it's been in a respectful manner. So I haven't had to deal with a situation where it was kind of like, hey, come on now. And I, so then Eric, some of your experiences, like, I don't know, I guess when I was still trying to find myself and everything like that, I was hanging out with these straight guys. And so then when one of them who I thought was my buddy, and he found out, that I was gay, he did kind of start acting a little different and stuff like that. Needless to say, we're not as close anymore. But I don't know if you have a sense of, I guess, of courage or I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but you were just very confident in who you are. And I guess for me, I wish I would have had that level of confidence probably years and years ago. So I would be able to, I wouldn't, I guess, had some of the experiences of dealing with people, as you say, stupid people or what have you, that should not have been in my circle from the jump.
Wow. So first of all, your journey is your journey, right?
Understandable. Yeah.
I didn't have a choice in my confidence, if that made sense. Like I grew up in church and I'm a trained dancer. And so like I was not as confident as people presumed I was. I just decided that I just couldn't do it anymore, right? I was tired, right? I was like, this is not what, like I used to hide being a dancer, and I was like, wait, everybody got insecurities, boom. And so I had to do a lot of work, and I'm still doing it to this day. So I think also that's the misconception that because I am openly queer, that like it's just like easy, it's a life, and the challenge is it's sometimes even more difficult because the queers who are not as open or not as don't want to hang out with you clocked. I'm not 24, so I don't want to always be like, I've never been to a ball, right? So there's just misconceptions, and a lot of times people push away from me, even the down low ones. They don't want their tea to be clocked. It's like, bruh, I don't care about you that much, and because I'm trying to get a man, so I'm trying to get a man.
That's the information at the bottom. So people I
know, but I didn't put IG, so I don't know if people go get it. But I hear you, and I want to just say like thank you. But I also appreciate you being vulnerable and sharing that. But I think if we have more of these conversations, then it would be a better experience for the queers as a whole, because it just hasn't always been that space for either one of our like journeys.
But so I always wanted to know, are people grateful? Like, are y'all grateful for the journey that you did take coming out as a gay man, or would you change it altogether? It could just be yes or no. It's up to you,
I would change.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think my situation, it was just way different. Like, just a lot of different things. I think just because I would almost like describe myself as like asexual, like probably from just a period and going like all the way. Like I was attracted to girls like in like elementary school and stuff like that, and I had crushes. Like I remember writing this girl a letter, like pouring my heart out, and I was devastated when she turned me down. Like all that stuff. Just discovering myself later, like since it was in my early 20s, I wish I would have had that period, like of when you're a kid, you have a girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever in school, like, and you're just everybody else. I always felt like I was on the outside of everything going on when everybody was kind of experiencing just life. I just felt like I felt like I was a part of it, but just that piece I was missing out on. So I would change for that reason. Eric, you said change. Why would you change?
Only because I was raised to be a gentleman. I love being gay. And so, like,
being a gentleman.
I think if I was great, I could be a better example to straight men about how to respect other people who have different identities.
You can still do that. Like that.
Really?
That is
and I think the stuff I experienced as a gay boy who was a dancer in church, I just wouldn't want anybody else to have to experience that. Because every time you think you have unpacked, like gotten over something, you get drawn back into the trauma. And so the trauma part, I think, is the part I wouldn't want to relive. But I actually love being gay. I got to the point where I thank God for making me gay, because I think it allows me to respect all type of identities.
I agree.
Black women. But if I want, I think being straight is an easier life.
Yeah.
Except if you want to go to the clubs. You gotta wear a 3-piece suit. You gotta do a lot. But I think I will only change the trauma because it's hard. Like it's hard.
I get that. So piggybacking off of what you said a little bit ago, I want to jump to another question. What do you think are some of the biggest misconceptions about the LGBTQIA plus community?
That we all know what that means.
And that we accept everything.
Yeah. Well, I think
that is a good one. What now? Expound on that.
Who, me?
Yes, you.
I guess black gays is a little bit different because we LGBT. I think we stop at.
Don't finish out. We want to make it. Don't just.
I know, but sometimes that's how it is. Hold on, but can you see what I mean? Like it's just we just like we could understand certain parts, but friend, I love everybody. I'm here for everybody. But
we clearly don't love everybody.
I want to support the idea. We just met, but I'm gonna follow you on Instagram. I think the challenge is white people can't be black, or white people are gay, and so a lot of times we relate and that oppression, and I think sometimes white people use that connect to being black, and because white people cannot be black, us as blacks have used that like freedom and also a connection with white people being gay to like expand our horizon. But the black queer experience is different than the white queer experience.
Absolutely.
However, there are perks to riding that white gay horse. Look at RuPaul, right? And find an advantage in that. That's my take on it. RuPaul is black, but I ain't never seen him. He might, but I've never known him to support the black.
It's almost, it feels like he's black when it's convenient. I'll say.
But also, he would have been successful. To me, I don't think he would have been successful had he been pro-black. I think he was like, listen, I gotta be like.
But why is that?
I
hate that too. But unfortunately, there are still systems in place that are still gonna gatekeep against
America, where Trump can still be president.
Yeah, that says it right there. Well, for me, I feel like a big misconception is the fact that if someone like Mario, like you said earlier, is not necessarily like out and proud, or just like they're leading with the fact that they're gay, then you're automatically assumed to be DL, or you're hiding something, or it's whatever. Like it's a thing about like you can present as you know, you don't like, why do you have to be able to determine like someone's sexuality upon seeing that no one cares? Why is that so important? So that's
like I work with a girl that it is her sole responsibility, I feel like, to find out what everybody's sexual preference is.
Oh.
She wants, like, she digs into everybody's business, stuff like that. And I'm like, listen, now I'm not going to talk to you about shit because you're real messy. And you know what I'm saying? So like, no. But I don't know. I think to go piggyback to your question, I think that the biggest misconception for me, I think, is like I mentioned earlier, as far as being a gay man, is that every gay man wants every man. And I think that makes it harder because as you maneuver in the world, you may just want genuine connections with people beyond anything sexual, anything like that. And so people get caught up in that sexual aspect of it and realize that that's just one aspect of you, not your every being. And so they look past who you really are and they just focus on that one thing. And even in just not so much in just cultivating relationships, but just in general, people seems to be, in my experiences, when they find out that you're gay, that's what they want to hone in on. No matter what else I've done that's been successful or anything like that, all you want to talk about is me being gay or something like that. And I think that's kind of disheartening sometimes.
Yeah.
Mario, that lighting is hitting your face perfectly, so that light is great. What was the question? I was so good, but I was.
What's in your opinion? What's the biggest misconception just about the LGBTQIA RST? Right. Yeah.
I think also that we care about straight people. We don't.
In what way? Like you don't live your life for straight people.
There have been a lot of times straight people do like clickbait where they would discuss the gay experience.
Yeah.
And I don't know that gay people care that much about straight men.
But they always talking about it.
Yeah, but straight men are always talking about the gays. And it's like you need to, child. But it's like
I think there's a lot of it on both sides. Like just to talking about this, because there are a lot of gays who make it their life's mission to figure out who, if a straight man is actually gay. Like, can we pull him? Can we turn him? Yes, go ahead.
We gays also have to know that it's between identity and sexuality. So a lot of in this conversation, we have named our sexual orientation and not our identity. And so oftentimes cannot fault straights. I know I'm complicated. Straights for thinking about sex when we say
you had this many layers.
See, get to know me, baby. No, I'm saying, the thing is like, so we cannot. I've learned to not fault straights for going to sex when I say my sexuality is gay, versus I identify as a gay man, meaning like I identify as someone who's attracted to men, versus I am my sexuality is the person who I like to have sex with, right? Yeah. So I think that because I don't want to put it all on the straights, we also have to make sure that we are educating ourselves to make sure we're communicating the right language so that people are aware of how to approach us.
Yeah.
Which we didn't have access to when we were younger. So
very true. And I think honestly, even now, it can be a bit confusing. I will say firsthand, like sometimes I do get things confused, like you said, so you're saying like with sexual orientation, like if you say that versus like, because if you say sexual orientation, you're going to think sex too, but that's still, your sexual orientation is gay. Like it's not like.
Yes, but I think the key word, how I understand it, sexual orientation, the key word in that is sex. Identity is who you identify as. And so like, I don't say my sexual orientation. I identify as a Black gay male. So that way I'm picking out the sex from your head anyway. So that way, like if you bring up sex, it's on your mind versus me already putting it in your head that this is my sexual orientation.
Okay.
Right.
All gays are not having sex. Hello.
Very true.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
It's not okay. It is not okay.
I mean, sometimes it's okay. Now it depends on, I guess, how long it's been.
A year.
Oh. Okay. Well.
Whoa! I thought this was a safe space, Mario.
It's definitely a safe space. It's a safe space.
Did you see the face I just made? That is crazy.
Well, we're not going to shame you. I support
Not
you.
at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Okay, so I want to shift gears just slightly. We touched on it a little bit, but in your opinions, how can we build an atmosphere of inclusion regardless of our personal or religious views?
Ask that one more time.
Sure. How can we build an atmosphere of inclusion regardless of our personal or religious views?
We have to see each other. A lot of times we want people to see us, but we don't see them. For example, like I have my own experience with people like Amaria, right? No, right? Like I typically don't fuck with people who are not open, right? But when I during this conversation, I saw Mario. Am I saying that right?
Mm-hmm.
I saw Mario, right? Even asking if I said his name right. And I think we are forgetting to actually see people for who they really are.
Yeah,
and I
just human side of things.
The human side, like, hey, you really may not know the right thing to say. And I see that. You actually are being a messy bitch, so I'm gonna stay the fuck away from you. Yeah. But it's a layer, you have to be uncomfortable to see people because seeing people really hurts, right? Because like, damn, you really a problem. But I think that is, from me, that has worked for me.
I think what it's going to take is, I don't want to say small groups, but I think outside of the church, outside of religion, all the above, we need probably like groups where people can come in and you have educated people who can connect with people who really want to know about us, who really want to understand this is who we are without, them saying, but this is what God said, this is what, just hear us out. We'll hear you out. I feel like if we have more conversations around this would connect us and give people a more heartfelt understanding of why, I don't want to say why we're like this, but this is who we are, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah, are you ready for a conversation though? Because that is a very emotional, because to answer some of those questions is very triggering and traumatic. And so like, while I think it's great to have, like, are you ready for the people who know your whole life to be like, so why are you gay? Who turned you gay?
But did you experience that already though?
See,
I experienced that?
But I think if someone approaches you with that sentiment or that question, I don't think it's like sincere. There's not sincerity there. They don't really care. The fact that like, who turned you gay? Like, because they're already, the mindset is that you're not supposed to be this. You can be changed. Something happened to make you be this way. So
that's why I said safe spaces.
Right. Yeah.
I learned that the people who are the most triggering are the people who raised us, and who, like the new people we meet, love us for who we are. But those people who knew us before we came out, those people have the hardest time. And that's what I'm saying. Like, so I wasn't trying to attack you, but I've had the same experience and I end up crying again, right? Because my cousin was like, well, I wouldn't want to go to your wedding. I'm like, well, damn, bitch. Well, you're not invited. You know what I'm saying? But like, I wasn't ready, and I thought I was, to actually hear their discomfort with who I like.
Yeah.
Or don't like single.
I mean, but to piggyback off of that, no, I was a little apprehensive, honestly. In like when I got married, to invite a lot of my family to come, and thinking that they would probably be like, nah, we're gonna sit this one out. But the overwhelming response I got was probably, it made it that much better, honestly, because it was like they really saw me, to your point. They really saw me and loved on me and loved on P and everything like that. And so even to the point now, when we, go around them or stuff like that, or I'm by myself, like that, they'd be like, where's my cousin? I'm like, here I am. Listen, no, where's P? That type of thing. So I don't know. I think that if it's almost kind of like the race things to a certain degree, like if people would kind of just, to your point, see you for who you are and not so much about all the other extra stuff, just that see you as a person, it'll be a whole different take on it. But then we come with the religious beliefs, we come with personal beliefs, we come with this and that. Everybody has a little bit of baggage they bring it to every meeting. But if we could really check some of that baggage at the door and just really get to know people for who they are. I know it's easier said than done, but it can definitely make it, a better place. No, you ain't want to hear nothing you got to say. Go ahead.
You on
Mario, my question is, and this is only because I'm all about whatever, and I think you're great. Do you think that your family was easier to accept you and your partner because you are both presented as masculine? Like, do you think that they would be less open if you were to bring a more flamboyant, openly queer man who identified as a man?
Question.
I'm only asking.
And you know what? I appreciate you asking that, but I really don't know. Honestly, I really don't know because as it stands now, I feel like I'm sure I'm not the only one, but as it stands now, I'm the only one that the family knows about that's gay. So that would be a great question. I'm not sure.
I'm only asking because like part of my journey is that like people. Well, I've gotten more masculine as I've gotten older because it's tiring. But like my
tiring.
Sometimes it's tyrant, child. It's a whole thing. But I think that like I question sometimes. I'm not gonna put my family out there, but like certain families like acceptance based off how you present. Yeah. Because like there have been times, even like within my fraternity, where they were like, Eric, this is not acceptable. And I'm like, these shoes are Margiela, relax. And so I just always, when I talk about growing, I think about like, if I wasn't what you think a man was off just aesthetics, would I still be accepted? And I found out the answer is no.
And I think that is true, and that's a very valid question because I think people do excuse it, so to speak, or kind of oh, it's cool because you don't really know, so we don't really think about it, so it's not a big deal until it's like, oh, I forget, because I've had people several times say that about Tony and I, like, oh, I didn't even know you guys like we're together, or like, are you guys brothers, or whatever. Okay, yeah, no, so. But yeah, very interesting.
Eric, I do have a question for you.
Yes. I'm out of answers. Sorry.
Oh, no. You look like a talker. Nonetheless. So when you pledged, were you openly gay or openly queer before you pledged? And so how was that experience going into it?
Yes, talk about it. Because I still feel a way about it. But well, I guess
it was a challenge, right?
Without going into detail, because I know you got to keep some things to the
No, I really love them, and so I'm always mindful of like how I represent them. It was a challenge, and I did not get it for a long time. But I think what happened was they could not ignore the work and effort and who I was as a man. And I think that like when we look at like humans and being seen beyond the fact that I liked men, I was an educator. I was providing resources to Black kids on the spectrum. I was, I commended the room. I was a critical thinker. I was like showing up all the time. So like,
how can your whole resume?
But my
point, talk about me.
My point was like, although, and like even when I joined, there were challenges, right? But I think that pledging is illegal, but I think that like having a program where you are able to go through some things kind of allows you to go to the room and say, hey, respect me, that's it. And so like what I do have to say, respect me. It was hard though.
Yeah, I was just curious, did you meet any opposition like when you went to for informational or all that kind of stuff? Like what you met with opposition? That's all. Yeah, I get it.
I was. But I'm also like,
how did that make you feel though?
It made me want it more, right? It made me want to be able to say, yo, my story deserves to be told because there's so many fraternity members who are not out and who do so much work, right? Who do so much work. And so like for me, for my chapter, I am very proud of the growth they have made. But they also push me too, right? Like Eric, like my family always says, Eric, we don't have an issue with you being gay, but you're just annoying. And so I think that is also part of like the growth. Like you got your flaws, but being gay is something we worried about.
Gotcha.
Pay your dues.
I love that. Well, y'all, we're going to jump into one of my favorite segments, which is the hot seat.
Oh.
And we are going to drop Mr. Davis into the hot seat.
No, can Dion go first? I want Dion to go first.
That's fine. Since we got two special guests, we're gonna put both of y'all on the hot seat. That's fine.
We have it.
We're gonna do it that way. Yeah, there we go. So Mario, kick it off.
All right, so my first question, I got a couple. So my first question would be, what advice would you give to someone who's struggling with coming out?
Because I'm a spiritual person and I am a Christian, I would let them know that you need to find out who you are. Do your deep research on yourself, knowing who you are. And then as you come to know who you are, accept it and enjoy the person that God created you to be. Plain and simple.
I like it.
How does we just blurt out questions that we have to rate? How does this work?
Well, he just answered. Now it's your turn to answer.
Yeah.
How tall are you?
Who?
No. So, well, you two are in the hot seat. So you get the same. You have to answer.
You got a question you want to ask?
Oh, you right. You got a question.
Why is that a question?
Hayward and Mark, I didn't meet you, so I know that they both tall, and I want to know how tall you are. I want to see you as a person.
5'11".
Got it.
So can you answer Mario's question now? You don't remember what it was, do you?
Nope. It is okay to be gay. No, it's very simple, but like literally. So I don't know if you ever was told that as a kid or as a young person. Yeah. It is okay to be gay.
I mean, I was gonna say, like, why is it okay to be gay? If they ask, if they ask you that question,
you have to do that work. But I am telling you, it is okay to be gay. No, I'm and like it's funny. I get it, but like,
yeah,
someone told me what I would tell the young people. You're gay and it's okay. Like literally, like that affirmation means something because I don't think any of us ever heard that. We heard about Bible scriptures, heard about burning in hell. Never, it's okay.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. All right. So my question is, what does living authentically look like to both of you? Like just completely, like in every facet of your life. What does that look like?
Being human and being who you are. I mean, it's kind of
no, because I think, and I know it's a weird question, but I think just in asking that, because I think people still struggle with being themselves and being okay and being and like, feeling like they need to appease other people. And I think it's a difficult journey, like to go back to what you said, Eric, like, it's okay to be gay. That's great and all, and people do have to do the work, but I think it is, it can be a struggle along the way. So it's like any resources that they can find to find themselves or to do that. Cause it's easy. I think it's easy to kind of get lost in that shuffle if you don't have a good support system or, anything like that. Disagree?
I agree.
To answer your question, I think that I am always aiming to figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
I think that being authentic is always owning that you are open to change your feelings and opinions. Mm-hmm. You are open to like you have new boundaries or you create new limitations. I think I struggle with that. So I would say I'm still trying to figure that out. So I don't know that I have an answer to like what it means to be truly authentic to yourself because I don't know.
That was an answer.
And I would say being open to change is who you are, is like you said, just being open because you never know anything. Just being open-minded. Anything can change. You can bringing new love in your life, new opportunities, just being who you are.
I hate saying piggy, but to support my point, like when I was 27, I allowed straight people to say certain things about gay people, and I allowed. I was cool. But now that I'm older, like there are certain things I'm like, no, you can't
Tell
say
us
that.
how old it was.
No, you're not doing that. No, it's not happening. And I think that's getting towards like getting more authentic, because I wasn't raised to say, like, my people told me you could be gay, just don't do too much. And like, how dare you tell me what not to do? Like, get the fuck out of my face and let's go to church. Well, or whatever the case is, I think that's also like growing to become your most authentic self.
But you were under their household, so it's a little different.
No, this was just everybody.
Oh, okay.
All right, Mario, I know you said you had another question.
Yeah. So how do you feel that I'll use the term that Eric has been saying, using all the whole episode, is how do you feel that being a queer male has made you better?
I feel like Eric said it way earlier. I feel like I can understand people. I feel like I want to say it's kind of weird, but you know how a mother's love is for their child no matter what? I feel like being a gay man, I can love anybody no matter what. I can take whatever you say. Now, I will challenge you. I will do whatever I can if you come against me, but I feel like we have the opportunity to just adapt and just be for everyone when needed. And I just feel like that's what it is.
So just to piggyback, so do you feel like being a gay man that you are obligated to be more accepting?
Not obligated. I don't feel like I'm obligated to, but I mean, it's just who we are, just who I am, with no issues.
Yeah.
I don't know if being queer has made me a better person. I think being an intentional human has made me a better person who happened to be gay. I think that like life has presented certain challenges that I may have experienced because I'm gay, or because I'm Black, or because I love Jesus, or because I'm short, or whatever. I'm short, by the way. But I think that I think my queer experience it's just like an addition to like me being a person who just wants to be a better person. So I don't give my gayness that much power. There's liberation in it, but because there's some dumb gay people.
Yeah.
And there's some ignorant gay people, right? Which is why some of these stereotypes are like triggering. And there are some gay men who would go to Vegas with their friend and try to touch on them, right? But that's not me.
Yeah.
So I would just say I'm a person because I want to be more like Christ.
It is. So last question. How do you feel being a queer man has shaped your career path, or like your desire in like the work field? Like has that played any role into like just what you're going for or what you're working toward?
For me, I wouldn't say that. Not for me, because I'm in banking. It's different. It's not the same. I just I wish money, but I don't think that it's done anything for me. Mm-mm.
I also want to say that Mario's lighting is phenomenal. He found his light.
Good, but it is.
Excuse me. So I am a dance teacher at an all-boys school in the Bronx. And so elementary school, I did not want to work there. I was afraid, honestly, to be in a space where like I would be around nothing but boys and I'm like gay as hell. But I have used my fear as a way to empower our youth. So like I don't call the boys kings, I call them soldiers, right? I let the boys cry, but I also say you still got to get your work done. And so what I've done is provided my queerness to give them what a man is, or what a strong soldier is. And so it's not, if you will grow up and you want to be a woman, you want to grow up and be non-binary, you have to be strong. You have to be strong-willed, strong-minded. So I have allowed my queerness to provide those young boys with like, hey, I am a man. I chose to identify as a man, and this is what and I build strong soldiers. And so I'm the toughest teacher at that school. The boys, they do the ayo, and I let them know how terrible that is, and they fix it. But I've let my queer experience and my insecurities drive my intentionality at the school. I think that made sense.
Yeah, no, it did. It did. Yeah. I appreciate that. And I appreciate y'all for being very vulnerable.
I love that.
It's so deep, Eric. Oh my
God.
I know.
Eric
I ain't got nothing else to say.
I've known Eric for many years at this point. How long have I known you?
We met at Christian Mingle in 2009. I mean, hello.
I forgot. Sorry. But anyway, so Mario is going to take us out, give us some positive vibes and everything for the week.
All right. So what I have this week is stop giving them so much of your energy. They see you but refuse to acknowledge you. Use that energy on you. And that comes from Dr. Chalice Bradford. She's a pastor here. I forgot the name of her church, but local pastor here in Dallas.
Okay. Did you visit that church?
I have. Thank you. Don't come for me.
No, I was asking.
I've actually visited multiple times. Yes. Okay.
And what's the name of that church?
It is the Greater Garth Chapel. Thank you. Google it. The Greater Garth Chapel. Dr. Chalice Bradford. I'll send it to you.
I'm gonna be in Dallas soon. We can just go together.
Sure. When you come to Dallas?
I don't know yet.
Exactly.
All right, y'all. It's been fun. I appreciate y'all again so much for joining us on this.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Special
thank y'all for having us.
Absolutely. So thank y'all again for tuning in. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and follow us. And we will catch y'all next time.
Yeah.